And now we have him at VSiN, the Vegas Stats and Information Network. It helps to be connected, and nobody knows more of the bookies in Las Vegas than Brent Musburger. It's My Guys in the Desert with the legend of the guys behind the counter, broadcasting only on the Vegas Stats and Information Network at vsin.com and SiriusXM Channel 204. Live from the VSiN studios, it's the one and only Brent Musburger.
No, it's actually Ron Flatter. It's actually Josh Towers. And actually, I forgot a brought to you by. You know those brought to you bys you got to do, Josh? You know, the brought to you by.
Absolutely. And it's the one and only Ron Flatter.
Well, yeah, but then, it'll be no Ron Flatter if he doesn't read the brought to you by, because the action update was brought to you by BetQL, the mobile app that you need to make smarter bets, and that I need to actually remember to make smarter bets. Track line movement, public betting trends, follow your picks, and get value bets of the day. Head to betql.com. Download BetQL today. All right, there you go. I finished all the old business. New business, Josh. New business includes games that are going on. Talked about the whole possibility of, do you do the doubleheader sweep or the doubleheader split in betting games tonight? And, of course, we got a few games as well going on. We have to backspin a little bit to what was a disaster again for a bullpen last night. So it's all happening, but there's a whole lot of baseball going on. And I'm just wondering, were you like me? Did you have the under on the Astros-Giants and go, yeah? Or were you unlike me? I'm pretty sure you were unlike me, taking the White Sox against the fatigued Yankees, and then the White Sox wound up using a position player on the way to a 7-0 loss in terms of pitching.
Well, I mean, we talked about it. I understood what your approch was in that game and why you did it. So, I mean, you had a plan. That's the good
I went
thing.
back in on them again tonight.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
The Yankees?
No. So.
All right. Well,
We'll
you don't like all your money. You just like some of it.
Just like some of it. So anyway, did you have any action last night in terms of Major League Baseball?
I did not. I got out of here and took care of some business. I did not have any action. As much as I like stuff and my thoughts, overall, I'm on the right side. Unless I'm going to bet them all, it's tough to cherry pick because you see what happens. I mean, 4-1, Yankees have the lead Sunday night, and they end up blowing in the ninth, and you don't see that stuff happening. But these bullpens, and we see Holland's now on another team, and he's blown a lot. You see the Rockies bullpen, and it's just too tough for me unless I'm going to go all in on everything I like, because there's very few days where I look at everything, and there's only one game that stands out.
Right.
So, I don't know. There's a couple. Right off the bat, of course, I like the other side of that doubleheader tonight without even looking. I don't care that Scherzer's pitching.
Yeah, well, let's talk a bit about that right now, because it is the Braves and Nationals who will play in about 1 hour at Nationals Park in Washington. First game was the makeup of a rainout earlier in the season, and so Nationals win Game 1. But the second game, you look at the matchup just on its own merit, and you do have to take some of these things on their own merit at times. You got Max Scherzer on the mound for the Nationals. I mean, there he is, 15-5. Doesn't always get run support, and so maybe that's the salvation here just on the merit of the game by itself. But it's a minus 210 price on the Nationals, so certainly expensive if you're thinking that this will be a rare doubleheader sweep. As Jeff Fogel pointed out in VSiN City this morning, doubleheaders have been played 22 times this year, 18 have been split. And so if you go in on the split, Sean Newcomb and the Braves, plus 85 cents. The total has overjuice at 7.5. And if you go run line, with the Braves plus 1.5, you're laying 6-5. So,
right.
If you go just with that 18-4 stat, it's very compelling. But you got Max Scherzer on the other side of it.
Correct. Yeah. No. It's a blind play for me, given how it's broken down all year. And I mean, the same thing we saw Kansas City and the Yankees not too long ago, and the Yankees were plus 390 and plus like 335. I'm sorry, Yankees were minus. The KC was plus 390 versus Severino, and plus 335 versus CC, and of course they beat Severino. It just happens, and so that's why it's a blind play for me, given the Nationals have already won. I know how good Max is, but he definitely can lose. He's got 5 himself on the year. If you really break down the numbers of this game and you throw away that it's a split, it's hard to really go against Scherzer. He's 5-0 in his last 5 starts. He's 2-1 versus the Braves. Does have a loss on the year with a 1.80 ERA. On the flip side, though, you do got Newcomb. Newcomb's been great.
That's the other thing. He's pretty good for a pretty good team.
He took the no-no versus the Dodgers last start into the 9th inning with 2 outs, 1 run in each of his last 2 games. He's 6-3 on the road. So he's really good. The Braves are really good. I mean, we have a good baseball game, and now you're giving me the backside of the split. I'm going to assume, and I hadn't seen it yet, I'm going to assume the Nationals have a pretty good lineup. I don't think that they don't have the opportunity or the luxury to take any games off anymore the rest of the year. So I would hope and assume that Bryce and Zim are going to play. And if you notice, since Zim's been back, Bryce is starting to hit. That 210 average is now 236.
I got to tell you something else. I was watching MLB TV this morning, and they were going into – I was hoping to see, by the way, the Astros and Giants, but once again, one of the 6 million blackout rules kept me from seeing that. But I'm trying to remember who it was, but was going into the whole dad pitching to Bryce home run derby thing, and – whoever it was who was saying this was suggesting.
Sorry to cut you off, but bullpen right on point.
There you go. There's the Giants bullpen serving up a home run. So
bullpen just gave
2-1 Astros, right?
Yeah, 2-run homer right there. And this is the 8th inning with 1 out, and Bumgarner just got out of the 7th with 93, 94 pitches. I was watching it out there, and all I was telling myself in my head was I really would like to see him pitch the 8th inning. Who knows what would happen?
So. Agreed.
The pitch count wasn't high enough to say that he should be pulled. He's obviously in a good spot, 7 innings, 1 run. This is just a fastball right down the middle.
And again, this is the Giants bullpen, which failed last night. Will F. Smith, don't know what his real middle initial is. Giants fan here.
Yep.
Served up the 3-run homer in the 9th
tough.
last night. And so here we go again, and the Giants with bullpen trouble, which they can't solve. But back to the matter of a double-header split. You've been in the clubhouse.
Yep.
What is the mindset when you've had one under your belt early in the day, and you know you got a game coming up, and you've already had a win on the day? Is there something there that has, you take the foot just a little off the accelerator in that second game?
There's nothing that I can really put my put my finger on. Sometimes at home, and depending where you are at, where you live, sometimes you can you can leave the stadium, you can go home, you can take care of some things. You have that luxury. When you're on the road, you stick into the clubhouse, you're bored. You look for places to eat or to order in from if you don't want the clubhouse food. But you also find yourself in the cage. You also find yourself in the video room. You find yourself studying a little bit. I would think the doubleheaders, the second game, and I don't know the stats of this, would favor the visiting team just because I'm hanging around. And then remember, my starting pitcher's probably not there yet for either team, so they're at home, so they're on their normal schedule. But past that, there's nothing. I mean, sometimes you see the winning team kind of not put the best lineup out there. They kind of, the backup guys, the 22, 23 guy on the roster, you see them in there a little bit, which is never fun. The backup catchers for sure. But no, there's nothing in particular that stands out to me.
Let me tell you, we do have the lineup, and the only change right now for the Nationals, Keyboom was in at catcher for the opener. Wieters is in at catcher in the nightcap, but otherwise, other than the change in pitcher, it's the same lineup. Harper and Zimmerman are in. Turner, Soto, Rendon, Harper, Zimmerman, Murphy, Taylor, Wieters, and Scherzer. So yeah, you're definitely excited about Max. You're definitely excited about the lineup. Did you see the Braves lineup by any chance? Was it on there? I'll get it for you.
And then you got Newcomb, who's been pitching well. This is going to be a good game either way. But once again, Max is beatable. It's not the end of the world, and I love the fact that it's a split. I got to go back to this Giants game, man. This kid Black's pitching, and he's been, fairly decent since he's been up there with them. He throws 99 miles per hour. It does not matter how hard you throw. I don't care if you throw 100. When you're throwing belt-high four-seamers down the middle, I can hit it. That's how easy it is. It's so crazy. I wish these guys would get past velocity and learn to locate.
That's what the game's become. It's become the power.
I know, and so we can't, at least we can, but they can't. They can't complain about blowing saves. They can't complain about giving up home runs. When you're not going to throw a fastball by major league hitters. I don't care. Ask Chapman. He throws the hardest in the big leagues. It does not matter. You're not throwing a fastball by these guys. They're too good.
By the way, Tyler White was the one who hit the home run off of Ryan Black, and so
he could have closed his eyes and hit that.
And he gave up a leadoff double to Marwin Gonzalez. Got an out in between, and then.
There's another base hit on a 98-mile-an-hour fastball right down the middle.
The situation. What's the deal? I mean, look, I'm a Giants fan, so I'm going to remove myself from the discussion here. Why the hell can't they get their bullpen fixed? This is an ongoing problem now.
They have a good bullpen,
since the
too.
Second half of the season when they went in the tank in 2016.
Yeah, I listen, I don't know. Some teams have a really good bullpen. It's a mindset. That's the reality is. It's a mindset. I mean, you see guys like Chase Bradford, who's with Seattle. He was with New York, and he was pitching well, but he wasn't pitching as good. Pitched the fourth, pitched the eighth, pitched the seventh. They don't know when they're doing. Then he goes to Seattle, and now he's dominating with a 2 ERA on a winning team. We see that. Same thing with Goodell. He's with the Dodgers. Now he's with the Cardinals. Was it the Cardinals? But he was also a Mets farmhand. Couldn't get it done with the Mets, had a +6. Now he's with the Dodgers and got a 2 ERA. It's a mindset. When I know when I'm going to pitch in the general area, what type of game, it helps me prepare a little bit more. When you have a plan, when there's confidence put in you, But when it's like, oh, you gave up a run, all right, and then you start reading the negativity, you feel the negativity. I mean, look at Holland. He pitched 1 inning, 3 strikeouts today. He couldn't do that to save his life last week or the rest of the whole beginning of the season. Right. It's just once again it's who's my bullpen coach, who's carrying the candy bag, how much fun do we have with that, what's our mentality together. You know, it's not the player so much.
All right, well, exactly. And let me take you upstairs. Why isn't Bob Evans getting this done? You know, I mean, it's just, this is there's 2 things that have been on the Giants' to-do list for 3 years: get a good bullpen and get a left fielder. And
yeah, they definitely need a new corner outfielder that can use 2 actually. I love the guys they have too. Obviously, I love Melanson. He's one of my boys from back in the day.
But he's not the same.
No, he's not. And Strickland, I do like him. Obviously, he's hurt. We know why.
Well, he's also not coming back.
Black's looks like he's. I mean, you can have plus stuff, but the reality is
Will Smith
we need that Greg Maddux mentality. I can throw harder, but why? I'd rather locate. And what these guys don't understand is when I relax and try to locate and not throw hard, it actually comes out harder because I am relaxed.
But is management looking for the velocity as opposed to the placement as you're talking about? And this is where I get back to.
Everybody is. Everybody thinks that, okay, I'm out here in all over the world, and I'm looking, this guy's got a great arm. Well, let's sign him. Our coaches will teach them how to locate. We'll teach them how to do it. Yes, sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't. But, it's within the player, too. I've told the stories many times. When I coached with the Mets, we had a kid, an extended, a Latin kid. He threw 100 miles per hour, literally every pitch. And he couldn't get nobody out. For 3 months, he didn't finish 1 inning. And we had to pull him every single time. As soon as I pulled him, because he was either hitting dudes, throwing off the backstop, or it was a strike, I would take him to the bullpen, sit there with no gear on.
Right.
And I would catch his bullpen, splitty slider fastball, and he would locate every single pitch. And people were like, you're crazy. I'm like, watch. He can do whatever he wants. He just couldn't mentally when there's a hitter in the box.
Right.
So physically we have the gift. Mentally is where we really need to focus. And so, yes, that's as I'm given a ton of freedom. You can't tell me what to do really as you're my coach. You can't really tell me what to do. You can't tell me how to run, how to train, how to throw. So a lot of it's on me, but at some point, somebody has to step in.
Well, that's the thing. And on the same token, Houston has the best bullpen ERA in the majors.
Mm-hmm. They've
got Hector Rondon in the back of the bullpen, just got Roberto Osuna.
Correct.
And so, I mean, I don't know that you're fearing God with either of these guys necessarily, but still, they're accomplishing what you're suggesting, though, because they have put together the best bullpen in baseball right now.
The starters also go a lot deeper than other people's starters, too.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think that plays a large part. But once again, there has to be a plan for these guys. They have to have pride in what they do together. And then till blue in the face, I believe that there's no exact science, but these guys have a general idea of when they're going to pitch, and I can get up without having to have the phone ring. Mm-hmm. I'm always going to be a little bit better. But if I start reading the cell phones, if I start listening to shows like ours, if I start paying attention to all the negativity, as soon as the game's over, you're going to ask me questions that I already know is coming. If I take that the wrong way, then of course it's going to linger. Of course I'm going to hear the same footsteps tomorrow. So once again, I mean, it comes down to me, but I want there to be a plan.
Dallas Keuchel will get a no decision in this game. Looks like the Houston bullpen will stand win it at this point.
Is very happy about that.
Yes, he is, because he gets off the hook after the Giants scratched out a run.
You see how hard wins are. So Keuchel gives up one. He's stoked that he's off the hook.
Yeah.
Bum doesn't give up any. He's going to get a no decision. They both. How far did Dallas go? Because Bum went through 7.
6.
So it's so hard to get wins in the major leagues, man. You got to appreciate them.
He is. Yeah, he went 6, 3 hits, 1 earned. So
I'll take that.
Struck out 5. Again, struck out 5.
Yeah,
he's overpower him.
No, his ball moves a ton. This dude's nasty.
But you're gonna you shave it,
pull it, sink it.
Yep. All right, so we got a lot more baseball to talk about, that which you can bet on, and we'll get into that, including we'll take a look at the Cardinals coming up. Can Matt Carpenter keep it going? The Cubs are going to be playing a little later on. Can Javi Baez keep it going? So all of that's ahead. Also, just so you know who's on the guest list a little bit later on, coming up this afternoon, we're going to be Brian? Who have I got talking golf with us today? Because I don't have my notes right in front of me to tell me about that.
We have Mark Lye from SiriusXM PGA Tour Radio.
We've had Mark on before.
He's one of our favorite guests.
Oh, that's great. Okay, and Jeremy Schaap is here. He's working with Jimmy Vaccaro on a documentary about a famous old fight, and so if he can split away, I asked him a few minutes ago if he can jump in. So if he can, we'll have him there. So we'll tease you a little bit with that. So a little more baseball, a little golf, a little boxing. And I think we'll wedge some football in there, too, today on VSiN. Yeah.
It's My Guys in the Desert with Brent Musburger, only on the Vegas Stats and Information Network. Keep up to date with everything in the world of sports gaming by going online at vsin.com.
Josh, you're just wondering, why is the line moving so much? I got a place where you can go to figure out why the line's moving so much.
What is it?
Have you heard? You've used BetQL, haven't you?
There it is. I have, absolutely.
It's available for download, and it's the only mobile app that puts all the important research you need to make smart bets in one place. Let you know where the public is betting here in Las Vegas, offshore, wherever you want. You can easily access that movement, see how the lines have moved to give you a clue. All right, something's cooking there. So what's going on in this case? BetQL's powerful algorithm gives users value bets of the day based off of detailed recent and historical trends. You can calculate your return on your picks by punching them into the little bet calculator they have on there. And the best part of all this is it's free. Download BetQL for your Apple or Android device. Go to betql.co to download the only app you need to outsmart Vegas. That's betql.co. Don't need the M. BetQL is brought to you by the creators of RotoQL, the leading daily fantasy lineup optimizer, trusted by 100,000 daily fantasy sports players. And you can also download RotoQL for free for both Apple and Android. Again, that's BetQL.
If you didn't catch VSiN last week, here's some of what you missed.
I did kind of alter my odds to win the Big Ten, but I had Ohio State minus 110 over the rest of the field. I made them even money. I lowered Michigan and Penn State. Again, not to cast too many aspersions. I'm not privy to facts other than what I'm seeing on Twitter or on TV. But to take it a step further, it is a school, and they're supposed to do the right thing, on many levels, not just winning football.
Yeah, Greg.
This just came down about 2 or 3 minutes ago. Urban Meyer has been placed on administrative leave.
Well, boys, I got some work to do.
Yes.
I'll be right back.
For real, this actually is what happened.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, this is what we have to do.
One thing that they look at is the percentage, and the Nevada percentage versus the European percentage. And I always used to say, I took my percentage down to the bank, but they wouldn't take it. They said they only take dollars. And that's what these guys really fail to realize. The European model has all sorts of, there's hidden percentage in everything that they do. And that's fine. It's worked well for them. The American market is totally different. And it's not going to go for some of that, I don't know if I could say it, but bull crap.
How much of an improvement will it be? Did I even read that you guys might even think they have a shot at contending for a playoff berth?
They absolutely have a shot of contending for a playoff berth. We have this projected as a top 10 defense. We do not have the offense projected well, but oh my God, is it going to be better than last year? Whether it's Taylor or Mayfield, and Mayfield has one of our best quarterback projections ever. If college performance means anything, and it does mean something, right? It's hard to project, but it's better to be coming out of college with good performance than bad.
Now back to Sin City and My Guys in the Desert with the legend Brent Musburger, live on the Vegas Stats and Information Network, SiriusXM Channel 204, and vsin.com.
A little later on this hour, we'll get into some college football and, of course, NFL later on in the show. Ron Flatter and Josh Towers in for Brent, who will be back on Monday. Let's get into some baseball games coming up top of the hour, 45 minutes away or so. And let's start with a guy who's been playing hot and needing to make sure his team gets to light a fire as well. St. Louis Cardinals, Matt Carpenter, has reached base in 25 straight games. That's the longest single-season on-base streak of his career, and it's the biggest one going right now in the majors. ESPN Stats and Info pointing out he's batting .371 with a .491 on-base percentage in that span, which began July 8th. His batting average third in the bigs, while his on-base percentage is at the top. And that sets us up for the Cardinals game coming up tonight as they are visiting the Miami Marlins once again. Cardinals a 52-cent favorite, as you would figure, with Miles Mikolas on the mound. He's 11-3. Pablo Lopez going from the Marlins, who are 42-cent plus on the buyback. The total is 8 with undershading. The run line, Cardinals -1.5. You get even money, Josh.
Yeah, it's almost too obvious of a play, which is kind of crazy. I mean, they're in the Marlins' little scuffle. I mean, they're hitting .215, averaging 3 runs a game. Teams are hitting .301 against them. The ERA's at 6. I mean, this is almost too easy of a Cardinals play. It almost makes me nervous. Mikolas is the Cards are 15-7 when he starts this year, which is obviously really good. You know, I thought that he was going to fatigue a little bit coming over from Japan. They pitch once a week there. I think he's learned a lot of discipline actually being in Japan. I think has really helped him. He's got 15 quality starts on the year as well.
Yeah, he just got a scary amount of quality. And he needs beautiful. And the way the Cardinals aren't hitting the last 2 games, he needs to make it 16.
Agreed. And he's been the one consistent. They're lucky they signed him. This turned out to be a phenomenal sign. I know it's a 3-year deal, but so far so good. And then Lopez, I can't back Lopez. He's plus. He's got plus stuff. He's really good, but he's very, very inconsistent. And obviously the bads are a lot more than the goods. I can't back him all. This is a Cardinals play all the way for me.
All right, Reds at Mets. Follow up to last night's little bit of drama when they had Matt Harvey tribute video playing up on the big board. Dozens were in the stands for that. So here it is. The Reds are going to be favored tonight as Sal Romano will be on the mound visiting the Mets. No, it ain't Thor this time around. It's Jason Vargas. And so it's 29 cents for the Reds. Total 8.5. It's even on either the over or the under at a dime. And the run line, Mets -1.5. You're getting 9-5.
I need help with this. I need somebody to help me. I can't figure it out. I've been all over my computer and my phone looking. This line opened up today at +101 for the Mets. That's not right, correct? Are the Mets favored?
No, the Mets are a pretty sizable underdog, 39-cent underdog.
No, the Mets are favored out here. That's wrong.
Is that wrong?
The Mets were +101, and I believe they're -140-ish now. Like, that's what I have.
We'll check.
And I can't figure out either way.
Right, let's do this.
Yes.
Let's hold that in abeyance.
Okay.
We'll double check on it, and we'll skip ahead to the next game and come back to it to make sure we got the number right.
Yeah, because there's a huge line move either way.
We'll figure that out.
Good.
You're watching. We're watching the sausage being made right here and now here at the South Point.
There you go. So
it is.
Okay,
it is Mets -139. All right.
So they went from +101. It's on our sheet this afternoon to now they're -139. So we had a 41-cent change in favor of the Mets with Vargas, who hasn't got anybody out all year. And listen, Romano hasn't either. Let's be honest. He's 6-9 with the 5.12. I'm confused. Both of them give up a lot of runs. A lot of home runs are a big deal for Romano this year. He's given up, I think, 21 in 116 innings. He's 1-5 on the road. Walks and hits are up for Vargas. The Mets lineup, obviously not very good. Scored a couple of runs for Thor, but they're not very good. The Reds lineup, okay, no Joey Votto. I still can't figure out the 41-cent swing on this.
I am looking at a website that does track these things, and I don't see anything either. Nothing new. It could just be air.
Strictly because there's so much money, and I've talked to these guys out here. It's just a lot of money. Since there's so much money that's coming out on the Mets, I'm all over the Reds.
Okay, there you go, +29. All right, let's get to the American League games coming up, top of the hour, and let's start out with the Red Sox visiting the Blue Jays. Of course, the Red Sox, and this is almost a pick'em game. Red Sox -7 cents, Blue Jays -3, with Drew Pomeranz on the hill for the Red Sox. And the Jays going with Marcus Stroman, which is probably as much a reason as you're going to see this as close in a game in the betting as it is. The total, 9.5, shaded under, and the run line is the Red Sox -1.5. You're getting 3-2.
Bet the Red Sox run line at +150, I think that says. Go ahead and take that. If you don't want to, take the 107. How are you going to bet Stroman versus the Red Sox? You can't trust him. 5 innings, 7 runs last game versus the A's. A lot of bad games this year, only a couple good. I know that he's been better since he's got back from the DL. But, he went back to his old ways last game. And Pomeranz, he hasn't been any better, but he is finding a little groove. 5 innings, 2 runs last game. First off, you're giving me the Red Sox at a pick'em versus anybody. I don't care who's pitching. I got to take the Red Sox, but Stroman's just not it. He doesn't really step up versus good teams, and the Red Sox lineup's loaded. And I'm over here looking at the Blue Jays lineup, and you tell me, but when I got Randall Grichuk leading off with Devin Travis batting second, Justin Smoke batting third, I am not nervous.
Okay.
So I like the Red Sox.
Liking the Sox in this one. Orioles visiting the Rays, also coming up at the top of the hour. They'll be under the Maurice Chevalier hat in St. Petersburg, Florida. Look that one up, kids. Rays, heavy favorite here. Tyler Glasnow pitching minus 170. The money line there with Alex Cobb going for the Orioles. Total 8 under, and the run line minus 1.5 with the Rays. You're getting plus 135.
How about this for a stat? Orioles have scored 37 runs in their last 3 games versus the Rays. They had that series where they just smoked them in Baltimore recently. Oh, man, Cobb. I couldn't find too many good things about Alex Cobb this year. I will say this, his 3 wins have all came on the road versus the Mets, Yankees, in Boston, which, I mean, if there's a bright spot, I look into that, I guess. Only think about that when the season's over. I got, no interest in betting on the Orioles and Alex Cobb. Tyler Glasnow coming over in the Chris Archer trade. Mm-hmm. So this is going to be his second appearance. Also his second start, both as a Ray. Yeah, he was a reliever with Pittsburgh. He went 3 innings, so obviously he's not going deep. Nothing new to the Rays. They use the whole bullpen every time they pitch. Just kind of cross this one off for me.
Okay, and a game that's probably going to catch the attention of some parlay players. The Indians often do, especially when they're at home against and also ran in their own division. And that's exactly what's happening tonight. Carlos Carrasco and the Indians are minus 250, hosting the Twins with Alberto Mejia. The total 8.5 over, and the run line, Indians minus 1.5. You lay 35 cents.
Indians are hot. I told you yesterday. This is my team that I think is the best team in baseball moving forward. I really like what they're doing. All the pieces are there. They had a great game yesterday. Mejia's good, man. This kid's good. I like him. 1 run in his last 13 in the third innings. 5 scoreless, 1 hit on Wednesday. I like the kid. This is a bullpen day. Once again, the Twins are going to see at least 3 from the bullpen. So do you want to trust them? And then Carrasco, 5-0 with a 1.99 since his return from the DL. But more impressively, 42 Ks and 4 walks in that span.
Is that right?
Yeah, he's been fantastic. And then the Indians are just...
What's his record in that time? His win-loss record?
He's 5-0 with a 1.99.
He has more wins than walks in that time.
He does have more wins than walks. Love it. He's locked in right now.
You got to like that one. Not often you're talking about a guy who has more wins than walks in a stretch of time. All right.
I mean, the Twins, they're 7-5 on the year versus the Tribe. They do have the season series so far. But, it's different right now. It's different with this Indians team and how they're playing.
All right, those are the games coming up top of the hour. We will get to the later games a little later. But coming up, we want to find out just how much steam there is on a certain guy who's won 14 majors, but seems like he's a mile from his 15th. Well, there's a little less than a mile coming up until the next major, which is only 2 days away. We'll be talking golf next on VSiN.
It's My Guys in the Desert with Brent Musburger, only on the Vegas Stats and Information Network. Keep up to date with everything in the world of sports gaming by going online at vsin.com.
One time I laughed at a guy who said happiness is a new toothbrush. This is decades ago. I remember Dan Miller, the late Dan Miller, he was a TV anchor in Nashville, said happiness is a new toothbrush. But then I got to thinking about it. Ever since then, it's pretty nice to get a new toothbrush, especially when it's a state-of-the-art toothbrush like the folks have made at Quip. QUIP. It's the new electric toothbrush that helps fix the brushing habits that most people get wrong. Like, do you brush for 2 minutes a day? Well, you should, and the toothbrush does all the work for you. Now, here's how this goes. The bulkier electric brushes have awkward charging stands and modes you don't need and cost 5 times as much. But with Quip, it starts at $25, and you can get brush head refills automatically delivered on a dentist-recommended 3-month schedule for only $5, and shipping is free. Quip has been featured in GQ, Oprah's O-List, and Time Magazine named it one of the best inventions of the year. This can have a huge positive impact on your health. Go to getquip.com/Brent. You know that fellow who normally hosts this show? Go right now, get your first refill pack free with a Quip electric toothbrush. That's your first refill pack free at getquip.com/Brent, spelled GETQUIP.com/BRENT.
If you didn't catch VSiN last week, here's some of what you missed.
A guy wants $10,000 on the Falcons to win the Super Bowl. Without hesitating, I said, yeah, good, fine, write the ticket. So I turned my back. I was talking to Shelly some more. And then the guy started waving. He said, no, I don't want it. And he said, I think I can get better odds somewhere else. Well, why would you come to the counter, you idiot? If you wanted to make $10,000 bet, and then we said, okay, and then he changed his mind. Let me tell you why. because he didn't want to make that bet anyway.
He just wanted to
He
hear
just
it.
wanted someone to say, no, we can't take it. I'm telling you, I've been around this crazy racket my whole life. Vincenzo knows exactly what I'm talking about.
I haven't heard one person make the case for Conor McGregor. I'm guessing you're going to be in that same camp where you're going to love Khabib in that fight. Am I right?
There is no argument. Well, yeah, there's one argument. The lucky punch, the puncher's chance argument, and that's it. I mean, that is it. Because once Khabib takes him down, Conor will quit, gas, name it, and he will get absolutely obliterated. This fight ends when Khabib wants it to end, and it will not be close.
What does this mean to you if there is no Urban Meyer this year coaching Ohio State?
Prior to this situation with Urban Meyer, I picked Ohio State in 9-3. The biggest question I'm going to have if Urban Meyer isn't on the sidelines with their new head coach or interim head coach Ryan Day is, how is that going to fare with former head coach for Indiana, Kevin Wilson, and former Rutgers head coach Greg Schiano? There's a lot of personalities involved in the mix. How will this team respond under those circumstances with Ryan Day at the helm? That's the biggest question mark I have.
And I believe that NBA is going to run with this. I mean, you'll see it. There'll be a full court press now, I believe, with their. And then, and everybody goes, well, why are you so opposed to paying data fees? It's not that we're opposed to paying data fees. It's once they have an exclusive on that feed, they can charge whatever they want, Matt, as you know, and that's the problem. I mean, once you can't go out and get a different, a number like anything else you buy, you can go shop, right? And that'll be taken away from us, and then really they get their integrity feed just through another source. So it's and that's why it's such a dangerous precedent.
I'm Ron Flatter with your VSiN Action Update. And the bullpen comes through again for the Giants in a negative way after blowing it last night in a 3-1 loss. They had a 1-0 lead to protect from Madison Bumgarner, but then Tyler White with a home run in the 8th inning, and the Astros find themselves in the lead again. Top of the 9th, they were favored visiting San Francisco, and right now it is Houston 2, San Francisco 1. One game is done earlier today. It was the first of 2 in Washington, with the Nationals beating the Braves 8-3. Cardinals at Marlins will be coming up, with Miles Mikolas looking for his 16th quality start of the season. The Cardinals are 52-cent favorites visiting the Marlins with a total 8 under. The Mariners and the Rangers in a game that's pivotal certainly for the Mariners in that tight race in the American League West a little later on. A couple of big-time veterans when you consider the length of time they've been in the bigs. Felix Hernandez against Bartolo Colon, and the Mariners are a slight favorite in this one at 16 cents. The total, typical Arlington, it's 11 shaded to the under. BetQL is the mobile app that you need to make smarter bets. Track your line movement, public betting trends, follow your picks, and get value bets of the day. Head to betql.co and download BetQL today. Some golf talk coming up now on My Guys in the Desert here on VSiN.
Now back to Sin City and My Guys in the Desert with the legend Brent Musburger, live on the Vegas Stats and Information Network, SiriusXM Channel 204, and vsin.com.
Brent Musburger back on Monday. Ron Flatter along with former Major Leaguer Josh Towers. I say he's the former Major League pitcher, current Major League gambler. Here he is contemplating all that is as we watch to see if the Giants can come up with something down 2-1 in the bottom of the 9th. Who's on for Houston right now?
Hector Rondon. Has he always thrown 98 miles per hour?
Rondon?
Yeah.
No.
Because that last pitch was 98 miles per hour, and it was not down the middle of the plate.
Well, there you go. See, you're going to be on this harangue now until Kingdom Come, aren't you?
No, I've always noticed it. It just bothers me.
I understand. Can I do anything to
97?
Can I do anything to salve this?
No, these guys can start pitching better and actually get hitters out. That would help.
All right.
I mean, Tyler White he wasn't even trying to. Like, it was an accident that ball went over the fence. Like, the dude hit his bat, right? I mean, you couldn't miss that pitch if you tried.
I have the under in this game, so I'll be.
You're fine.
I'm fine. Yeah, well, you should be, yeah.
I can't believe you're still sweating this.
Well, if it ends up being 2-2 and the Astros put up like a 6th spot in the 10th. All right, let's get to golf. At the Westgate. Who? Yeah, you've heard of golf. Guess who's catching more money right now than any other golfer for the PGA Championship?
Tommy Fleetwood.
No, no, but first initial's right. Tiger Woods is getting more money, more steam at the Westgate Superbook, according to Doug Kazarian at Doug ESPN on Twitter. than any other golfer. And so Tiger is at 25-1. You'd figure that number might be moving at some point here. But then again, if you're a bookmaker looking at Tiger Woods, and we'll ask Jimmy Vaccaro maybe a little bit later on, do you just hold that number steady and take a position that he's just not going to win and go ahead and collect the money?
Well, I'm not quite sure, and obviously he'll have an answer for us. But you know the money's always going to come in. I mean, we saw it on Sunday where they put up a Sunday odd of 500-1 for him to win it because you know the people are going to throw money. So you take a baby shot sometimes, but you know overall you're going to get a good return because people just, I got to throw money on Tiger Woods. I mean, It is what it is. Now, granted, he's playing well. I mean,
and by the way, he's 12-1 here at the South Point. He's 25-1 at the Westgate.
Yeah, I mean, well, you know, different books, different amounts of money. So a lot of people don't see this as a tournament for him that he'll win. I know he's been playing well. You know, it's Tiger Woods. He always has a chance. That's just the reality. He doesn't? I mean, how many top 10s does he have? How many top 20s does he have this year? I mean, the guy's been playing phenomenal golf.
He's been playing phenomenal golf to get
even
into
the best player in the world
won.
Only has 3 wins this year. And this guy's coming back from all these years off. Like, I think we're looking at this so wrong when it comes to Tiger Woods.
Why?
Because everybody's acting like he's not good just because he hasn't won yet, which is
but you're betting
most
to
people
win.
Haven't done what he's done this year, and what he used to do was so outlandish that it almost became normal for us. I think it's disrespectful how we approach him.
No, but you can only bet him. You can't bet him to finish third. It's not like a horse race.
I understand that.
I mean, I suppose you could, but not here. And all right, I'll give you one. Let's go to these props that have been put out by the Westgate. Tiger Woods make the cut. Yes, minus 450. No, plus 350. I think he makes the cut.
I do too. Yeah, for sure.
Top 10. He's 3-1 that he will. Minus 400 that he doesn't. Now this is where what you're talking about, the disrespect quotient could come in.
Because I mean, if you pull up all his tournaments from this year, he has a few top 10s. It's not like he's not in there, and he's come down to Sunday a few times where he had an opportunity to win. So top 10s is not out of it. Now that top 10, at any point, you know, if you're a couple strokes back, you have to go for it, and if you miss, you're right out of the top 10. Doesn't mean he didn't have a good tournament. So, yeah, I know that's a tough one. I think the top 20, I like that a lot better, obviously, at plus
top
150.
20, you get 3-2 for a yes, you're laying 9-5 on a no.
Right. So I like that, top 20.
Okay. How about this one? This is a matchup. Will Dustin Johnson or Rory McIlroy win the PGA Championship? DJ's 9-1 in a straight bet. Rory's 12-1. So
why would I want to bet that?
Would you? Well,
can I just take them both separately?
Yeah, because at that point, what is that? Somebody'd have to help me with the math on that. But if you do the prop, it's yes, one of them wins it, plus 150. No, neither of them wins it, minus 180.
Yeah, it's either. I mean, the only way you can go on that prop is no.
Right.
If you don't think they're going to win it, just bet no. 180 is not a bad price at all.
No, it's not.
And then if I think one of them are going to win it, I'm going to take them at 9 and 12-1.
They also put up some matchups here at the South Point for the PGA tournament, and these. Let's go look at the ones just involving Tiger. They've got him against Francesco Molinari, Ricky Fowler, and Jordan Spieth. Interestingly enough, Woods and Spieth. That's a pick 'em, dime juice each way.
I mean, there's so many good golfers that, I mean, I see him against Justin Thomas here. There's so many good golfers that, I mean, anybody you match him up with, anybody has a shot.
But otherwise, you're looking at he's minus money. He's favored against Molinari.
I like the one versus Molinari because Molinari's had a really good run where he won. He took second, I believe, then he won, and and like our guest said yesterday, maybe just, mentally, it took a lot out of him, and now he kind of fades. He faded a little bit last tournament. So I definitely like the Tiger over Molinari for sure.
And against Ricky Fowler,
he's better than Ricky. And Ricky always has a bad day, and everybody thinks Ricky's going to win, and he never does. It's a waste of our time talking about Ricky. So I like that. Jordan Spieth is a different story. I don't know. That's a toss-up for me.
Let me skip ahead. Let's jump ahead. Brian Rogers, our producer, to the Dustin Johnson props. These intrigue me. DJ, favored to win the tournament. He's a real up and down guy recently. I mean, he wins a tournament, then he's scuffling. Now he is at minus 210 against Brooks Koepka, minus 190 against Jason Day, minus 165 against Justin Thomas. Obviously, the other players mentioned here are plus money as you look at them.
Now, these are all 4 days.
Correct.
Because I got a matchup round one only in my hand, so okay.
No, these are for all 4 days here at the South Point. If one of them makes the cut, you're automatically a winner.
Yes,
equal number of rounds otherwise.
That's nice when that happens, by the way.
And if they end up in a playoff, it's who wins the playoff if it's between them.
It's tough to bet against Dustin versus anybody. I mean, he wins 1 out of every 4 tournaments, so it's tough. Justin Thomas obviously just won. It's a good price on Justin. Jason Day's been playing well.
Is it too expensive to lay on Dustin Johnson, though, these numbers? Like, 210. You're laying 210 against Brooks Koepka.
Right, and Brooks is really good. Yeah, it's just it's how good he is and how often he wins and how much he's in the top of the leaderboard. I guess they all are. You feel a little bit more comfortable against Day. You feel a little bit more comfortable, at least I do, versus Justin Thomas because he gets a little bit inconsistent. Koepka is like DJ. I mean, he can be far back day 1 or 2, but here he comes out of nowhere and he ends up at the top of the leaderboard. So that's a big price for Brooks.
Let me take a flash look here too at the Rory McIlroy props. McIlroy, in particular, the one that I am looking at, he's minus 170 against Koepka, plus 135 against Dustin Johnson. DJ minus 155 in that matchup. But look at this one. Rory, you lay 6-5 on Rory against Justin Thomas, who is the defending champion and who won last week at even par.
Yeah.
Is this a stay away because there's no real attractive price there?
I mean, you can't lay 170 versus Koepka. Yeah, I mean,
I'm talking about the McIlroy Thomas.
Well, I mean, Rory had shown some signs of life. Obviously, his swing looks good right now. It's tough to repeat, and it's tough to win 2 in a row. So it's an easy fade on Thomas given those things. So maybe that's the one play that like I said, I think Justin plays well, but how much pressure does he put on himself to win, or is there no pressure at all because I just won?
It's interesting, too. They've set up a Tiger-Phil matchup.
Yes, they have.
And so Tiger's favored in that. But also, they've set up a real-life matchup, of course, coming up Thanksgiving weekend here in Las Vegas. And that'll be at Shadow Creek.
What are the rules? Are we 1 round, 2 rounds, 3 rounds, 4 rounds? We don't know anything?
We haven't heard that yet. So we don't know if it's medal play or match play. But the odds are up at the Westgate, and Tiger is minus 150, Phil plus 130. Again, that's for Thanksgiving weekend, not this weekend.
I dig the course that they chose, too, because overall it's a pretty easy course if you're hitting fairways. But as soon as you miss fairways, it is very difficult. Now, it gets a little thicker, not the end of the world, but there's always trees or something in your way where you don't have an open look at the greens. So
Doesn't that play to Phil then?
And you got to back off some of your drivers sometimes. You have to hit irons off the tee box in a lot of holes.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful course, and it's a lot of fun. It's, like I said, as easy as you can go low, you can get yourself into trouble.
Seems to me this sets up for Phil then. Tiger's
Phil's good at playing mind games, too. He plays a lot of mind games with Tiger. He'll make the driver a little longer, hit a little further, knowing Tiger that is going to want to outdrive him. He this is the kind of stuff that Phil loves. I think Tiger's playing better than Phil. So it's going to be interesting. I'll be locked in.
All right, they'll be playing at Bellerive starting on Thursday for the PGA, and of course Shadow Creek here in November for the Tiger versus Phil matchup. So a lot of golf to talk about and to bet on here in Las Vegas, both soon and in the slightly distant future. Coming up also very soon, college football and some teams, some big names. I mean, we're talking brand names we're going to talk about. And, of course, we can't get through talking college football without trying to count the crowd that was out for the Urban Meyer rally last night.
Wow.
Uh-oh. Next on VSiN.
It's My Guys in the Desert with Brent Musburger, only on the Vegas Stats and Information Network. Keep up to date with everything in the world of sports gaming by going online at vsin.com.
X-Chair. I love the X-Chair. I mentioned that I threw out my back last week at home, had to miss a day of work. It was, they were lighting fire rockets around here because I missed a day of work. But when I did get back, I got into my office chair downstairs, and it actually helped my back. I've got recliners at home. I work from there. They're soft. They're horrible for my back. But the X-Chair is pretty good. I'm not going to tell you it cured my back, but I felt a lot better getting out of that chair than I felt getting out of chairs at home. There's a really sleek red and black design that looks like it's often called the Indy car of office chairs. You have ideal posture coming out of this, means more energy, better concentration. The bosses will want to hear more productivity, yada, yada, yada. Look, it's a good-looking chair that feels good, and that's the best part of the X-Chair. And if you're skeptical, take the 30-day no-questions-asked guarantee of complete satisfaction and feel for yourself. Go to xchairvegas.com right now and get $100 off. That's xchairvegas.com. Or to use the old-fashioned way, you can call 844-4XChair, 844-XChair. Go to xchairvegas.com now and use the code VegasFootrest and get a free footrest. The X is like the letter X, xchairvegas.com.
If you didn't catch VSiN last week, here's some of what you missed.
I did kind of alter my odds to win the Big Ten, but I had Ohio State minus 110 over the rest of the field. I made them even money. I lowered Michigan and Penn State. Again, not to cast too many aspersions. I'm not privy to facts other than what I'm seeing on Twitter or on TV. But to take it a step further, it is a school, and they're supposed to do the right thing, on many levels, not just winning football.
Yeah, Greg.
This just came down about 2 or 3 minutes ago. Urban Meyer has been placed on administrative leave.
Well, boys, I got some work to do.
Yes.
I'll be right back.
For real, this actually is what happened. I mean,
this is what we have to do.
One thing that they look at is the percentage, and the Nevada percentage versus the European percentage. And I always used to say, I took my percentage down to the bank, but they wouldn't take it. They said they only take dollars. And that's what these guys really fail to realize. The European model has all sorts of, there's hidden percentage in everything that they do. And that's fine. It's worked well for them. The American market is totally different. And it's not going to go for some of that, I don't know if I could say it, but bull crap.
How much of an improvement will it be? Did I even read that you guys might even think they have a shot at contending for a playoff berth?
They absolutely have a shot of contending for a playoff berth. We have this projected as a top 10 defense. We do not have the offense projected well, but oh my God, is it going to be better than last year? Whether it's Taylor or Mayfield, and Mayfield has one of our best quarterback projections ever. If college performance means anything, and it does mean something, right? It's hard to project, but it's better to be coming out of college with good performance than bad.
Now back to Sin City and My Guys in the Desert with the legend Brent Musburger, live on the Vegas Stats and Information Network, SiriusXM Channel 204, and vsin.com.
Ron Flatter, and as well, we have Josh Towers, and as well, Brent Musburger will be back on Monday. Mark Lye, top of the hour, right, Brian? And he'll be coming on with us to talk the PGA Championship. We'll get an insider's point of view on what's coming up at the Belle Reve Country Club in St. Louis starting on Thursday. Football coming up. I didn't realize it had been 4 years. I knew that they had stopped playing each other, but Michigan and Notre Dame, Josh, they hadn't played in 4 years. They broke off the series, and now it's resuming. And, it's a rather large game, as you might imagine.
For sure. I hadn't realized that either. There's so many historic programs, and there's so many, obviously, really good football programs in college football. Every year we're just, we're given these awesome games every Saturday. And so I think I kind of overlooked that as well.
I think it's a little bit, this is going to be a bit of a referendum year for Jim Harbaugh at Michigan, because he rode in as, the white knight with sort of the, with the moxie, had the reputation for being the reclamation coach, fixed Stanford, fixed the 49ers. Now here he is at his alma mater. I think this is going to be a big year, and he does so. Remember, they went 8-5 and lost their last 3 last year. So there's going to be a lot. I mean, we talk a lot about what's going on at Ohio State and the trouble there. It may be the best news for Harbaugh may be the fact that Urban Meyer's in trouble, at that team, on the other side of the state line there. Interesting here, Shea Patterson comes in at quarterback. And remember, Patterson was at Ole Miss, speaking of programs that have trouble. So he transfers in. He only played 7 games last year at Ole Miss, threw 17 touchdowns, threw for over 2,200 yards. I think a lot of what they do, though, remember they had quarterback issues last year with an injury. if they don't get production right away out of Shea Patterson, this could be a long year for Michigan, where here at the South Point, the win total is set at 9, shaded to the over at -140, the under +120, 15-1 to win the national championship.
Well, Shea Patterson's also 15-1 to win the Heisman, so that's suggesting they expect a lot out of this young man. He's a great football coach. It's a great football program. Obviously, they lose their last 3 last year, and I'm not saying this is what happened, but sometimes, these guys are playing for national titles and not just for any old bowl game. They're playing for something. And once you're out of it, then I can start bringing in other players. I can start seeing what I have. I can start getting some players ready for next season. I don't put too much stock into the last 3 losses of the year for Michigan.
Except one of them was to Ohio State.
It's a really good football program.
Yeah, but they're supposed to be on the same page, right? Higdon, Evans, they'll be a twin tandem in the backfield, so they'll take some of the pressure off of Patterson. So you would figure they are loaded, at least in terms of being able to come back from what happened last year. Now,
it's always defensive-minded, isn't Michigan?
Well, that's to be determined under Harbaugh. This is where I think with Harbaugh, is he going to be able to have the team look the way he wants it to look and perform the way he wants it to perform and have his stamp on it? And I'm not sure that he's been able to deliver at this point. Well, we're about to find out.
Correct. I mean, obviously the expectation.
He was, the 49ers, if you look at what they did, it was, he made Colin Kaepernick to be the household name he became even before the anthem stuff. So let's not forget
this
that.
This is his fault. This is all your fault, Harbaugh. Yes, it is.
Yeah, and the fact they only did was all Kaepernick did was get the 49ers to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, they were really good. He was really good as a coach for the 49ers. Then obviously they don't like winning, or they didn't, so they let him go. And then obviously it went downhill, and now they're back to doing something good. But yes, no, the expectations are very high for him. They were very high for him coming in at Michigan. National title was exactly what they expected, and so anything outside of that is under-delivering. He's got a lot that he has to live up to, and I think he's game.
And Brian Kelly has a lot to live up to at Notre Dame, of course. They had 4 wins 2 years ago, 10 wins last year, but they also finished the year on a downturn. But they've got Brandon Wimbush at quarterback, Dexter Williams to run the ball, Miles Boykin to catch the ball. But here's the problem. After those 3, they aren't deep at running back, and they aren't deep at wide receiver, yet they are still looking at a 9-win season in terms of win target here at the South Point, shaded to the over by just 15 cents, 35-1 to win the national title, and Wimbush 50-1 to win the Heisman.
I like the some of these odds to make the playoffs. I think I'd like to look at some of those a little bit deeper before this all starts off. They're plus 800 to go there. I don't know. I couldn't tell you much about their total. I haven't seen their schedule. I mean, everybody has a couple cupcake games on there, obviously, to get them on the right track. But I would have to look at that a little deeper to really be able to give you an opinion on the over/under. I mean,
their first 3 of their first 4 games are at home, so that
always helps.
That helps. Yeah, that's going to be a big part right there.
In week 1, who do they got week 1? Do we know off the top of your head? I know it's a tough question. They do got Michigan. That's why we're talking about this.
Yeah.
-2 right now.
Yeah. It's 2 Michigan favored by 2 at Notre Dame.
Because week 1's neutral to me.
And and it's interesting because if you figure 3 points for the home field, they're suggesting Michigan is 5 points better.
That's exactly. Now, week 2, I might look at Notre Dame. Week 1, because like I said, I feel like week 1's neutral in sports. I do favor Michigan in this situation.
Okay.
And then you're right. That line is, you put them in Michigan, and what's the line? It's 5. It's 6.
Yeah, it'd be more than that. So if you're talking about the Notre Dame schedule, they'll have Ball State for their cupcake coming back in the second week of the season. Then Vanderbilt comes in.
So they should handle both those.
And then at Wake Forest, hosting Stanford, at Virginia Tech, hosting Pitt, at Navy, at Northwestern, hosting Florida State, hosting Syracuse, and then finishing at USC.
So they do not have a tough schedule.
They have spots, but you're right. They should.
They
should be able. The winnable games should get them to 9.
Obviously, the hardest game of the year is week 1. Maybe
USC, depending.
Maybe the last game of the year, correct?
Yeah, but it's the Pac-12, so
you never know.
Hey, did you see? We've only got a second. Did you see how many people showed up for the Urban Meyer rally at Ohio State yesterday?
No, and I'm glad I didn't see it, to be honest with
Dozens. You. They maybe had 100.
Unless they know something already to support this, that's a tough support for me.
All right, let's get you back to some expertise on the PGA Championship starting this week. Mark Lye, the former Tour pro, will be joining us here in a few minutes to preview what's coming up at Bellerive. Can Dustin Johnson live up to the favorites role? We ask that question next on VSiN.
It's My Guys in the Desert with Brent Musburger, only on the Vegas Stats and Information Network. Keep up to date with everything in the world of sports gaming by going online at vsin.com.
Oh, is it the handle? Is it the blade? Is it the cream? It's all of those things. I've got the Harry's razor at home, and it is wonderful. They ship it in a nice box. The handle is just, you feel like this thing's going to last forever. The blades are easy to change. The blades last a while, by the way. That's the underrated thing about the Harry's razor. And it's also very, very cost-effective. For a limited time only, Harry's has a special offer for listeners of Brent's show. New customers get $5 off a shave set from Harry's with the code VSIN at harrys.com. This means you get a starter set, comes with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, foam shave gel, travel cover, all for just $3, plus free shipping when you use the code VSIN at harrys.com. Join the millions of guys who've already switched. Go to harrys.com today. Use the code VSIN at checkout to claim your offer for the best blades in the business. That's harrys.com.
If you didn't catch VSiN last week, here's some of what you missed.
A guy wants $10,000 on the Falcons to win the Super Bowl. Without hesitating, I said, yeah, good, fine, write the ticket. So I turned my back. I was talking to Shelly some more. And then the guy started waving. He said, no, I don't want it. And he says, I think I can get better odds somewhere else. Well, why would you come to the counter, you idiot? If you wanted to make $10,000 bet, and then we said, okay, and then he changed his mind. And we tell you why? Because he didn't want to make that bet anyway.
He just wanted to hear it.
He just wanted someone to say, no, we can't take it. I'm telling you, I've been around this crazy racket my whole life. Vincenzo knows exactly what I'm talking about.
I haven't heard one person make the case for Conor McGregor. I'm guessing you're going to be in that same camp where you're going to love Khabib in that fight. Am I right?
There is no argument. There's one argument, the lucky punch, the puncher's chance argument, and that's it. That is it. Because once Khabib takes him down, Conor will quit, gas, name it, and he will get absolutely obliterated. This fight ends when Khabib wants it to end, and it will not be close.
What does this mean to you if there is no Urban Meyer this year coaching Ohio State?
Prior to this situation with Urban Meyer, I picked Ohio State in 9-3. The biggest question I'm going to have if Urban Meyer isn't on the sidelines with their new head coach or interim head coach Ryan Day is, how is that going to fare with former head coach for Indiana Kevin Wilson and former Rutgers head coach Greg Schiano? There's a lot of personalities involved in the mix. How will this team respond under those circumstances with Ryan Day at the helm? That's the biggest question mark I have.
And I believe that NBA is going to run with this. You'll see it. There'll be a full court press now, I believe, with their. And then, and everybody goes, well, why are you so opposed to paying data fees? It's not that we're opposed to paying data fees. It's once they have an exclusive on that feed, they can charge whatever they want, Matt, as you know, and that's the problem. Once you can't go out and get a different, a number like anything else you buy, you can go shop, right? And that'll be taken away from us, and then really they get their integrity feed just through another source. So it's and that's why it's such a dangerous precedent.
I'm Ron Flatter with your VSiN Action Update. 2 games in the books in Major League Baseball. Tyler White hitting an 8th-inning home run to put the Giants' bullpen further in a funk for the second day in a row. The Astros win at San Francisco 2-1. As Madison Bumgarner winds up getting a no decision as a result of that, Dallas Keuchel was taken off the hook after giving up an early run. The Nationals won the opener of a doubleheader in D.C. 8-3. And that means that sets up the second game of the doubleheader coming up in just a few minutes. Doubleheader splits, by the way, 18 for doubleheader sweeps this season. The Nationals, however, with Max Scherzer, are favored. Also coming up at this particular hour, at this particular time, and in just a few particular minutes, the Indians are a heavy favorite at home with Carlos Carrasco pitching against Adalberto Mejia and the Minnesota Twins. Cleveland minus 250. And the Yankees, similarly, a heavy favorite. $2 on the road, looking for a second in a row against the White Sox. CC Sabathia against Ronaldo Lopez. Cubs are a favorite, but not quite as heavily so, coming up in about an hour as they visit the Royals. Mike Montgomery against Brad Keller. Chicago, 70 cents. Coming up in just a few minutes, we'll be talking more about the PGA Tournament with Mark Lye. Football talk is next, though, right here on VSiN.
You know him, you love him, and now we have him at VSiN, the Vegas Stats and Information Network. It helps to be connected, and nobody knows more of the bookies in Las Vegas than Brent Musburger. It's My Guys in the Desert with the legend of the guys behind the counter, broadcasting only on the Vegas Stats and Information Network at vsin.com and SiriusXM Channel 204. Live from the VSiN studios, it's the one and only Brent Musburger.
It's Ron Flatter and Josh Towers, and if you bet the over-under of over 1.5 times that I would forget the BetQL commercial at the end of the update, you come through a winner. BetQL, the mobile app that you need to make smarter bets. Track line movement, public betting trends, follow your picks, and get value bets of the day. Head to betql.co and download BetQL today. All right, there you go. So we talked a lot of baseball. Just to touch base on that again, Josh, the under came through for me for the second day in a row. I bet the under Astros-Giants last night, came through. Bet it today, came through. I was surprised there was overjuice on both of those games.
It's overs are popular plays, and we talked about bullpens.
Keuchel against Bumgarner, and there was overjuice on 7.
Yeah, Bumy's been good too, and then Keuchel, he's streaky with this year with some of his bad games. Then he had some good games. Houston's always a team that whether they got injuries or not, you think they can score runs. Giants, we really don't think that much, but baseball, sports in general, it's an over thing. We like overs. Mm-hmm. Just what it is.
Do you like Hard Knocks?
I do.
It's coming up tonight.
Yes, I do.
Premier Cleveland Browns.
I like it.
What do you think of that? Normally they're going to go with a team that's going to get some buzz. You think might make the playoffs, might make a run.
They might.
Oh, really?
They might.
No.
They've been doing all the right things in the draft recently. The last couple of years, they added some very, very good pieces this year. They got, as long as Josh Gordon comes back, they got one of the best wide receivers in football, and Landry. They got some veterans at the running game. They did some very good things with the quarterback position, and then obviously on the
stop right there.
Okay,
stop right there.
He went to the playoffs last year.
All right, Tyrod Taylor did go to the playoffs last year, but they drafted Baker Mayfield.
Okay, so we'll see him in what's the next year? 19. We'll see him. All these rookie quarterbacks need to sit and watch the game. I know everybody gets excited and they want him in the game, but if you want what's best for the team, Baker Mayfield needs to sit and hold that thing and take notes for a while.
Okay,
let
that's
Tyrod
fine.
do his thing.
But this is the 6th year in a row they're going to have a different opening day quarterback.
This is what it is. They traded for him for a reason. He's starting the season as the quarterback. There's no question about it. Baker Mayfield will not be the starting quarterback week 1. We know that already.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you have a lot of confidence in Tyrod Taylor in this crew.
I have a lot of confidence in this football team, yes. Their head coach is the one thing. I'm actually shocked that he's still a head coach. I don't care what team you put out there. These are professional athletes, and you haven't won. You're it's so many losses compared to very few wins. I don't care who you are. That's Hugh Jackson should have been gone.
Yeah, there he is.
But there he is with this really good football team. So here's the deal, Hugh. If you don't win with this team, you ain't ever going to win. So you might want to win so you can keep your job.
You got to figure this is a make or break with him. You would think. You would have thought last year. What are they, 1-31 in the last 2 years?
Well, they had, honestly, one of the worst quarterbacks in the history of the game last year.
This will be the 13th season of Hard Knocks, by the way. ESPN Stats and Info even has something on this. The previous 12 have a combined record of 91 and 101. 5 of the 12 made the playoffs. The odds are against you.
They are against you.
Although I don't know that you can take those past performances and apply it to this team. This is going to be different, though, watching this, because I was listening to Dan Patrick earlier today previewing this thing, and he's talked about how they really fall into a mold with this show, that they'll start to focus on a player. And the moment they start to focus on that player, he says, he's going to be cut. Now, with the Browns, I'm not so sure, because there is a certain wide open aspect to a team that's been 1-31 the last 2 years. I don't know if you can necessarily guarantee that.
I can't believe that's really their record the last 2 years is 1-31. That's shocking to me. I still can't believe it. Listen, once again, they could have went to popular play and took Saquon Barkley, and they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
They used it for, positions they felt necessary to help them win. I think that they've done some, like I said, very smart moves. They brought in some really. Now, it takes time for these guys to gel. I understand that. But you're talking about a team that, although they lost every game, they were in a lot of games and couldn't finish. Well, these guys they brought in are finishers. Now they've been in the situation. They're veterans. Listen, I'm on the side of I think this team's so much better than anybody gives them credit for. And I understand the other folks that they're the Cleveland Browns and they're going to lose. I understand it. I like these guys. Jarvis Landry's a very good football player. Tyrod Taylor will not do what all those past quarterbacks have done. He will not do that. Carlos Hyde is a good football player. Duke Johnson's been there. Now, obviously, I'm just talking about the offensive side of it, but the defensive side, they've done some fantastic things as well. Listen, and then not only this year, but for the future.
Here's something, though, that makes you say to yourself, uh-oh, same old Browns from around the NFL. Browns rookie wide receiver Antonio Callaway cited for marijuana possession. Now, look, marijuana possession isn't the deal it used to be, but still.
But when
in this league, when they keep track of that.
When you're not allowed to use it, it is a big deal. When it is illegal, when your job, your boss, your employer says you can't, it is a big deal. When you got busted at the combine for it, and when you have a past history, it is a big deal. When you should have been, a potential first-round, second-round pick, and you're a fourth-round pick, it is a big deal. This dude hasn't even made the team yet, and he's already in trouble. You may never see the football field.
He might be the star of Hard Knocks. Who knows?
He might be the star of Hard Knocks.
And as we look at the total for Cleveland this year here at the South Point, the win total is 6. Under shading there, I have a hunch you're taking the plus 115 with the over.
I mean, do we have by the way, their schedule? I know 6 is a lot. It's a lot for anybody, let's be honest. But
it's
I think they split amongst the division. I think they're that good.
And look, they're in the same division as Pittsburgh. They're not as good as Pittsburgh.
And Pittsburgh's not as good as we think they are.
Division is Houston. If Houston's healthy,
no,
they're not as good as Houston.
No, it's Cincinnati, Baltimore, Pittsburgh.
No, Baltimore's not in that division.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Houston, Cincinnati, isn't it?
Mm-mm.
Have I got that wrong?
Yeah, you got that wrong.
I got that old. Oh yeah. What year am I in? Is this is Blanton Collier still leading the Browns? All right, so it's Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Baltimore. They're not as good as Pittsburgh.
Okay.
All right.
They're not as good as Baltimore, but they're going to split with everybody. This whole division's going to split, I'm telling you guys.
But if they're not as good as Pittsburgh and Baltimore, you're going to say they're going to finish third?
1, 2, 3 right there. There's 3 wins right there.
They're going to make the playoffs finishing third in that division?
I didn't say they're going to make the playoffs. I said they have the chance to make the playoffs. I said they're better than everybody thinks. I think this is a pretty good football team. They got to gel. I think 6 wins is doable. I really do.
All right.
And I think that, people can overlook them all year. The books aren't going to overlook them, I promise you.
All right. You're taking plus 115. You're on the record. You make cash. Sean McDermott, by the way, not saying for the Buffalo Bills who's going to start their preseason opener.
He should start it because they have 3 terrible quarterbacks.
I was just going to say, process of elimination.
What are you going to do? You got to start the kid from McCarron. You got to start him from Cincinnati. You have to.
AJ, yeah.
The kid we just drafted, go ahead and let him once again hold the clipboard, let him learn. The rest of your team's pretty much there. Your receiving core is actually pretty good. The dude, Peterman, is it Peterman?
Peterman.
I should not know his name for a reason.
Because he was the guy who came in because the owner Pagula wanted McDermott and ordered McDermott to put Peterman in the game in place of Tyrod Taylor last year at Pittsburgh, wasn't it?
He deserves to play in the same league as the kid from Penn State that the Jets drafted. That's absolutely terrible. Johnny Manziel. He deserves to play in that league. Peterman is terrible. He has no business being in a football uniform in the NFL. 0. They cannot let this kid play.
Josh Allen.
Yeah,
out of Wyoming.
Yep.
To me,
I want these kids to. The NFL is not. Listen, it is not like other sports.
I totally agree with you.
To be an NFL quarterback, you have to know everything about everything. That game's got to slow down. These guys are twice as fast as anything you're used to. You got to know what everybody's doing at all times. You have to know everything about the playbook. It is a lot to take in. You got to be smarter than you are physically better.
And to me, Josh Allen should have been better than he was at Wyoming. Now, I'm gonna get here that, he didn't have the supporting cast that other guys did. Well, wait a minute. Hold on. Carson Wentz. All right? I mean,
he was good.
This is the comparison. Small school quarterback.
Correct.
How did he look? You got to put up numbers. When you're the MVP of your bowl game throwing less than 200 yards or whatever it was at the Shrine Spud Potato Humanitarian Blue Turf Bowl.
It was so bad.
That to me, that's not a big NFL resume. So I agree with you. He's got to be he's got to be nursed along on this deal.
He's
behind bad quarterbacks.
Yes, behind bad quarterbacks. That's the thing. And so you got to give it to the most experienced dude, in my opinion, because we saw Peterman. There was nothing about him that was like, okay, let's give him a shot. AJ's the most experienced, so still don't know what he can do. But of all the three, it's without question to me.
Although AJ, now see, this is the thing with AJ though. Do you give him a shot at being good?
He deserves it. Why wouldn't he? Why is he in the NFL? He's never been given a shot yet.
That's the thing, because he was buried at Cincinnati.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, anyway. By the way, speaking of rookie quarterbacks, I mean, he's not, but certainly Josh Allen is. I love this. This is offshore. This is a global odds bet.
That's for this year. Starts
this year.
9.5?
Over/under starts for rookie quarterbacks this season. Josh Allen, over or under 10.5. Baker Mayfield, 9.5. There's juice on some of these. Josh Rosen, 8.5. Sam Darnold, 5.5 with the Jets. And Lamar Jackson, 0.5.
It makes the most sense. Lamar Jackson's not going to start for Baltimore. We know this. The only way he's getting in a game is if Joe Flacco gets hurt. It's the absolute only way. So that's all you're banking on.
And look at that. The juice is heavily on the under there that he won't get a start at -200.
Correct. And then Baker Mayfield, 9.5 starts. That's way too high in my opinion.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield, 9.5. What about...
Especially if they start... What if they even start 2-2? You're not going to put him in. He started 3-1. He ain't never seen the field.
Darnold, 5.5 is tempting.
It is. I don't think that he should start, but it's very tempting. And then Rosen... I like Bradford, but, he does get hurt.
He does get hurt. That's the thing.
I don't think they're going to win, so they're going to want to see him a little earlier, in my opinion. Rosen's very tempting as well.
It is. By the 20 cents juice on each side of that, man. Got a bank
on each side. Yeah.
Right. Coming up, let's get back to a little bit of action that's going to come a little sooner than NFL games that count for real. We've been talking a little bit about Tiger Woods and whether he's been disrespected and whether he can actually contend. I say no. I say no shot he wins. I think he's like John Rahm, Money Pit. Josh, you say that he's got a shot, that he's getting disrespected.
I think he's very disrespected.
All right, let's get an expert's eye view from Mark Lye, the former Tour pro, coming up next to talk PGA Championship this week in St. Louis here on VSiN.
It's My Guys in the Desert with Brent Musburger, only on the Vegas Stats and Information Network. Keep up to date with everything in the world of sports gaming by going online at vsin.com.
I'm Brent Musburger, reminding you that the football betting season is here. There is nothing like it. Are you ready to celebrate the thrill of victory and cash a ticket even on defeats? Sharpen your edge now with the help of Matt Humans, Dave Tooley, and the rest of My Guys in the Desert. We'll get you prepared for the football season with exclusive handicapping stories and data that you won't find anywhere else. Go to vsin.com/subscribe for the package that makes sense for you, including a 1-week trial at no charge. Our new all-access subscription includes Point Spread Weekly, VSiN's digital magazine designed to make you a better handicapper and avoid the agony of defeat. You'll also get VSiN's 140-plus page college football betting guide, followed by our comprehensive pro football betting guide in August. Sign up now, vsin.com/subscribe. That's vsin.com/subscribe. Remember, cashing tickets is what it's all about.
If you didn't catch VSiN last week, here's some of what you missed.
I did kind of alter my odds to win the Big Ten, but I had Ohio State -110 over the rest of the field. I made them even money. I lowered Michigan and Penn State. Again, not to cast too many aspersions. I'm not privy to facts other than what I'm seeing on Twitter or on TV. But to take it a step further, it is a school, and they're supposed to do the right thing, on many levels, not just winning football.
Yeah, Greg.
This just came down about 2 or 3 minutes ago. Urban Meyer has been placed on administrative leave.
Well, boys, I got some work to do.
Yes.
I'll be right back.
For real, this actually is what happened. I mean,
this is what we have to do.
One thing that they look at is the percentage, and the Nevada percentage versus the European percentage. And I always used to say, I took my percentage down to the bank, but they wouldn't take it. They said they only take dollars. And that's what these guys really fail to realize. The European model has all sorts of, there's hidden percentage in everything that they do. And that's fine. It's worked well for them. You know, the American market is totally different. And it's not going to go for some of that, I don't know if I could say it, but bull crap.
How much of an improvement will it be? Did I even read that you guys might even think they have a shot at contending for a playoff berth?
They absolutely have a shot of contending for a playoff berth. We have this projected as a top 10 defense. We do not have the offense projected well, but oh my God, is it going to be better than last year? Whether it's Taylor or Mayfield, and Mayfield has one of our best quarterback projections ever. If college performance means anything, and it does mean something, right? It's hard to project, but you know, it's better to be coming out of college with good performance than bad.
Now back to Sin City and my guys in the desert with the legend Brent Musburger, live on the Vegas Stats and Information Network, SiriusXM Channel 204 and vsin.com.
Brent Musburger back from his vacation Monday. Actually, he's in Napa, California today. He's at Raiders training camp getting ready for his first Raiders radio broadcast on Friday. And speaking of Northern California, Ron Flatter and Josh Towers here, by the way. I'm from Northern California. Our next guest is from Northern California. The pride of Vallejo by way of San Jose State, 18-year Tour pro, and now an expert heard on SiriusXM PGA Tour Radio, Sirius 208 XM92. He is Mark Lye. And Mark, I got to take you to the Midwest, hot, humid. It's been raining today in St. Louis. I know you're headed there shortly to be covering the PGA Championship. What conditions... these conditions obviously are going to favor certain golfers. Who among the golfers that are among the suspects to win this thing will really love this course and this weather?
Well, I think anyone that moves the ball from right to left has a distinct advantage. And by the way, I'm still getting over the Vallejo reference. You know, I am from Northern California, but I thought I threw that out in my last press release. I don't want to really admit that I'm from Vallejo.
Wow!
You know, I moved to Napa early in my teens, so yeah, that's a tough one.
Did you go to Napa High or Vintage?
I went to Napa High. Yes, it was Napa and Vintage at the time. And yeah, how about you? What city are you from?
Chico. So speak slowly. I'm the same. Went to the same high school as Aaron Rodgers. So yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Bidwell Park out there. I used to play up there every year at the city championship. It was a great place.
Yeah, I used to hack around that. Where all the whole front nine is like in parallel paths with the fairways. But anyway, they're not playing the PGA there, fortunately. So anyway, you said, all right, so hitting it from right to left. So any golfers that come to mind as you think about that?
Yeah, Jordan Spieth moves it right to left. My pick this week is Patrick Reed. He's comfortable moving it right to left. And I think Bubba Watson moves it right to left because he's a lefty and he fades the ball. But almost every hole, except for two of them, 16 and 17, are the only ones that move left to right. Now, everyone's saying that, you know, Dustin Johnson is the pick and, you know, you got to be nuts to not pick him. But, you know, I just, you know, yeah, he's playing great. Justin Thomas is playing great. Can Justin Thomas do it 2 weeks in a row? Maybe he can. He gets on these streaks. But, you know, they're saying, lie dog, you can't not have Justin Johnson on your team. And I said, look, I'm going to go with the way I feel. And his lines just do not look good. When he gets on every hole that moves the wrong way of his ball flight, I'm sorry, it just doesn't look like an appealing place to him. Augusta National is another one. It basically moves right to left. Dustin Johnson, it just doesn't set up well for him. No coincidence why he hasn't won at Augusta. He's had some good rounds out there, but 4 in a row, can't do it. It just doesn't look good to him.
There's not too many holes, Mark, that he can just go over the top and cut the corners?
Yeah, he can do that. But look, in a major championship, look, if you go against the dog leg, look, if you're hitting a fade out there on a right to left hole, your area of precision is really cut down. I'm much like a guy that is comfortable on a right to left moving golf course. Yeah, he can blow it over some corners, but that it just cuts down his angle of attack. And that's what's really something about it. You talk about a guy like Bryson DeChambeau. He's got his protractor out there, right? Well, golf is a game of angles, and the USGA actually is barring him from using that anymore, which they should. But no, I'm just looking at the guys that are going to be comfortable there. Yeah, you can laugh. Go ahead. This is for real. I mean, literally, they're taking the protractor away from him, and they're also taking the greens reading books away from the players.
No kidding.
From what I've heard, and yeah, it's getting to be a little bit ridiculous.
Yeah.
They're starting to plan like a roadmap, every green and every little funnel on every green, and to me, it's like taking the feel out of the game, guys. I just whatever happened to just reading greens on your own rather than going to a dictionary and pulling it out and saying, okay, well, I'm on the back left corner and it says right here on my little greens reading chart that it's got to go to the back left of the green. I know we have yardage books and that's okay. But I think when we're getting into greens reading charts, the reason that I don't think it's cool is the time element, and plus it just takes the player more out of it. Makes it more of a mechanical type of a thing.
So obviously you're not in favor of that. I don't know. I mean, you could speak better obviously than we can. You played, but I kind of dig it. I mean, that's what makes you guys better, right, Mark? There's a lot of people that are physically gifted, but what separates you guys, and that's the mental side of it. We could talk about this in all sports all day, which we do. So now I'm doing my homework to give myself some sort of advantage on the golf course. And if somebody else is obviously too lazy to do that or doesn't want to, I'm going to be obviously better and have more of an advantage. I love the fact that the greens can't change. You can cut them. If they change, that they're going to obviously redo the golf course. I think that it's a good thing that these guys are doing their homeworks and have that. I understand the aspect of pace of play, but me being a fan of golf, I'm usually watching on my couch anyway, so I'm okay with it.
Right. Well, here's the difference. The difference is that all the smart guys have already been doing this. Bernhard Langer, he'll go over a golf course really twice with his caddy, Terry, and they'll go over things and they'll plot the golf course and they'll do it. But now everyone's got the same kind of book of rules and the same book there. So I don't know. There are guys that love the greens books, because there's two books out there. There's the green book, and then there's the regular, map of the golf course, right, which marks the distances from the sprinkle heads and the edges of the bunkers. But I kind of like the old style. I want you to be able to feel the greens and what they're doing. And here's what they do too. The field staff normally on the PGA Tour, they'll find a slope and they'll find a little 5-foot patch maybe that will go contrary to the slope. And so over the years, you kind of remember what the field staff does. The thing that's different about this event is the fact that, the last time we had a tournament here, a major tournament, is 1992. So those guys are either on the PGA Tour champions or dead, so that's the thing. I think everyone's got the same advantage or disadvantage of not knowing the golf course. And that's why I like PGA championships. They set it up fair, and, it's not going to be like the U.S. Open where guys are going to be, hitting the ball on the move because the ball is moving all the time. The PGA Championship is always set up very fair, and I think it's probably one of my favorite majors to play in. It wouldn't be my favorite major to win, but it is one of the favorite majors to play in.
Yeah, I'm here dead, by the way, 1,000-1 here in Las Vegas. By the way, just in terms of the odds, and we got Mark Lye on here on VSiN from SiriusXM, the former tour pro. Dustin Johnson 9-1, Rory and Justin Thomas at 12, Jordan, Ricky Fowler, Justin Rose at 20, along with Brooks Koepka and Jason Day. I want to zero in on a couple players at 25-1. Not for the moment, Tommy Fleetwood, but at the Westgate, Tiger is 25-1. Jon Rahm is 25-1. To me, they are both money pits, and I call Jon Rahm the money pit, especially when it comes to majors. But Tiger at 25-1.
And Ricky Fowler too.
And there's another one, yeah. But Rahm is, to me, just overhyped to no end. But in terms of, here's some of those numbers. But let's get to Tiger, because we had a debate on this a little bit ago. I feel like there's Tiger doesn't have a shot here. I just don't feel like he can win a tournament of this magnitude. Maybe he can win one of these, lower level events at some point again. But and Josh, don't let me speak for you. You feel like he's getting disrespected here.
Well, and we've had Mark on, and we've talked about this a little bit. Listen, I'm not saying that Tiger Woods can win any golf tournament at any given time. We know this. What I'm saying is I think that you're taking it the other way, and I think a lot of players are taking this, or people are taking this the other way when it comes to Tiger Woods. He's got 4 top 10 finishes this year. He hasn't played all the tournaments all year. He's played a limited amount of tournaments. He's got 4 top 10s. The guy's playing really good golf. I don't know how many people on tour can say they have 4 top 10s. So I don't think that. I guess when we talk about Tiger Woods, people only go he either wins or he's terrible, and that's not the reality. The guy's having a fantastic year, especially now that he's got his sea legs underneath him. I think people are disrespecting what he's actually done in the game of golf.
Mark?
Josh, he's got no shot. I'm sorry. You want to tell me to take Tiger Woods over Tommy Fleetwood? No chance in hell that I'm going to do that. Tommy Fleetwood is the new guy, okay? Tiger Woods, as much as he's done, that's yesterday. And look, he showed us that he can be in the lead of a golf tournament, but he cannot finish. He hasn't been able to finish this year. It's asking way too much of Tiger to finish an event of this magnitude. He could finish at the Wyndham Championship, or he could finish at, another lesser tournament where he's not playing in a world-class field like this. But you're talking about, guys that are eating his lunch every day now. And, look, I'm not disrespecting. I'm just going by odds and what I feel. Right. Tiger does not have control of his misses. He got off a golf course last week that he'd won 8 times on. He's 5 back of the lead going into Saturday. He shoots 73-73. So I don't know where that comes from. He hasn't played Belle Reve, so I just don't give him a shot. So the guys that you're reading, John Rahm and Tiger Woods and Tommy Fleetwood, I'm taking Fleetwood all day long. I'm not taking the other 2 guys.
Yeah, no, I like Fleetwood. He's one of my favorites, actually. Him and, there's a couple. Obviously, the way Rory's hitting the ball, I like him too. But no, I'm a big fan of Tommy. I just think that people aren't giving Tiger the respect that he deserves for the kind of year that he has, because we put so much stock on him. He used to win every tournament, and that was the reality of what we thought. Tommy Fleetwood has 5 top 10 finishes. Tiger has 4 this year. They're pretty close. Neither one of them have a PGA Tour victory that I'm seeing this year. So just given the year itself, I don't discount what Tiger's done, and I don't think it's fair that people do.
Right. Well, I would say that Tiger has a top 10 in one, major, but Tommy Fleetwood has been contending in a couple. Tommy Fleetwood was there at the Open Championship. He was 7 feet away from from breaking an all-time record at the U.S. Open.
Mark, can you talk about him a little bit more in depth? Because every round, Tommy Fleetwood throws like a -7 or a -8. It's unbelievable. And then he mixes in some 73s out of nowhere. Why is that? He's going to put 2 7s or 8s in a row together, and then no one's going to be able to touch this kid.
It's really hard to play at this level of shooting those kind of numbers every single day. And it's just basically a thought, Josh, that keeps you from doing it every day. This golf is so tedious, and it's so mentally focused that sometimes if you just don't quite have it mentally, you could have all the physical attributes of, that you need, but just one wrong thought at the wrong time.
Yeah.
And look at what Justin Thomas has done this year. Look, he's been in a lot of tournaments, and he hasn't been able to get it done. He got together with his team this week, his dad, his grandfather, his caddy, and he said, what am I going to have to do to get this done? I feel like I haven't won in 100 years. Actually, it's only been since March. But he got together, and it was that's what it's about these days.
Yeah. It is.
2 wins in a season is not enough because of what Tiger basically created for everybody, winning 6, 7, 8, 9 times in a year. Vijay Singh, the same thing. But with somebody like Justin Thomas, it's a fine line between winning and being, in 20th place. So he said, look, guys, let's get this together. Let's mentally be there. I need to do the right things this week. And that's what he did. And so, you know something? I would say what are the odds on Justin Thomas this week?
He's 12-1 at the Westgate.
Yeah, that's pretty dear. I can't give anyone 12-1 odds, to be honest with you. Rory McIlroy, absolutely not. I mean, he does have a good ball flight for this golf course. But, guys, he had a good ball flight for the Masters Championship, and we watched him just wilt. We watched Patrick Reed, Captain America, make him just do his shoes at the end of the round. That's what we made him do. So I'm not on Rory McIlroy's team. Plus, the Ryder Cup's coming up, and I hate all those guys.
I love it, Captain America. You said it, man. With Justin Thomas, that's one of the most impressive things about golf these days is these kids, and they're all kids, they actually do have teams, and the focus is on what can we do to win. I think "we" is a word used more with these guys than we ever heard before. I mean, Mark, you do this for a living. I mean, watching it on TV, you get a different perspective than what they're actually getting on the course. And so taking your perspective, your caddy's perspective, maybe your father's walking with you, but then you also have your grandfather watching on TV. When you get all these heads together, you can come up with a pretty good game plan. And I think that's where we have to respect what these guys do for this is their business, man. This is not just a job. This is their livelihood. And so to go back and actually put everybody together in the same room and say, all right, everybody give your piece. I mean, I can only imagine how much you can give them just by watching what you watch on television.
Well, I think here's what I'm seeing from Justin Thomas, that he gets perturbed. He was player of the year last year. And so, guys get upset. They get perturbed. I watch Rory McIlroy. He's been reading too much of his own press. He missed a putt that was right around a foot at the Open Championship. I mean, he got PO'd. He rushed it because he shouldn't have missed the putt before that, and he missed a putt. We saw Kyle Stanley do the same thing this week. We've seen Justin Thomas do the same thing. At the Open Championship, he shoots 68 the first day, and he's in the middle of the front nine the second day, and he makes 3 doubles in a row. To me, guys, that's mental.
Yes.
That's not a physical problem. That's a mental thing. So I think these guys, because they have such high expectations, when the expectations aren't there, when the game isn't there to match the expectations, they say, "Oh, hell with it. I'm done." And so I think they mentally get out of the tournament quicker than before. Jordan Spieth is different. I mean, he grinds it out. He grinds it. I don't think he's got much game right now, but I like the way he mans up during the major championship. The Masters, I didn't think he had a snowball's chance the way he was playing. And on the last round, he shoots nothing and has a chance to win it. He also wasn't playing very well going to the Open Championship. He was in the final, couple of groups the last day, had a chance, but came up with nothing. So you got to look at the guys that can just kind of dig deep, throw away the numbers, throw away the guys like John Rahm, throw away the guys like Ricky Fowler. And I love Ricky Fowler. I want to see him win, but it ain't going to happen. There's going to be somebody in there win like a Francesco Molinari, who has been putting his time in, who's kind of coming in under the radar. And that's why I took Patrick Reed this week.
All right, Patrick Reed. What are the odds, Josh, for Patrick Reed?
Started at 30 here at South Point. They're at 20-1.
20-1. All right, very good. So you gave us your pick. I was going to ask you how Napa High will do at Pittman in Turlock, California on Friday night for their season opener, but I won't do that. We don't have time. Amazing. They haven't got a line on that game out here. Anyway.
Can't believe it. You'll find one somewhere in the Napa High Daily News or something like that.
Right.
I don't know. Anyway, it's always a great time talking with you guys because I look at the odds just like you guys, and I see them so out of balance it's not even funny. But anyway, that's what makes the game so great, at least the betting game.
Yes, sir.
There he is, former Tour pro Mark Lye. Hear him on SiriusXM PGA Tour Radio this week from the PGA Tournament in St. Louis on Sirius 208 XM92. Mark, thanks for your time here on VSiN.
Anytime, guys. All the best.
Take care.
Have a great week.
Let's figure out where the steam is here in Las Vegas. Jimmy Vaccaro from the South Point next here on VSiN.
It's My Guys in the Desert with Brent Musburger, only on the Vegas Stats and Information Network. Keep up to date with everything in the world of sports gaming by going online at vsin.com.
I love the Harry's razor. I love the Harry's cream and that eucalyptus smell, starting with that, and then you shave both with the grain, against the grain. The handle's sleek. It's fantastic. And here's the best news about Harry's is the cost, or lack thereof. Harry's replacement cartridges are just $2 each. That's less than half the price of the Gillette Fusion Pro Shield. They got rid of these upcharges and offer fast, free shipping. The guys bought a company, a plant in Germany, and downsized the cost big time. So basically, they took matters into their own hands so that you can have a more affordable shave in yours. For a limited time only, Harry's has a special offer. New customers get $5 off a shave set from Harry's with the code VSIN at harrys.com. Starter set, 5-blade razor, weighted handle, foaming shave gel, travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping when you use the code VSIN at harrys.com. Millions of guys have already switched. Why not join up? Go to harrys.com today. Use the code VSIN at checkout to claim your offer.
If you didn't catch VSIN last week, here's some of what you missed.
A guy wants $10,000 on the Falcons to win the Super Bowl. Without hesitating, I said, yeah, good, fine, write the ticket. So I turned my back. I was talking to Shelly some more. And then the guy started waving. He said, no, I don't want it. And he says, I think I can get better odds somewhere else. Well, why would you come to the counter, you idiot? If you wanted to make $10,000 bet, and then we said okay, and then he changed his mind. Let me tell you why. Because he didn't want to make that bet anyway.
He just wanted to
hear it. He just wanted someone to say, no, we can't take it. I'm telling you, I've been around this crazy racket my whole life. Vincenzo knows exactly what I'm talking about.
I haven't heard one person make the case for Conor McGregor. I'm guessing you're going to be in that same camp where you're going to love Khabib in that fight. Am I right?
There is no argument. Well, yeah, there's one argument. The lucky punch, the puncher's chance argument, and that's it. I mean, that is it. Because once Khabib takes him down, Conor will quit, gas, name it, and he will get absolutely obliterated. This fight ends when Khabib wants it to end, and it will not be close.
What does this mean to you if there is no Urban Meyer this year coaching Ohio State?
Prior to this situation with Urban Meyer, I picked Ohio State in 9-3. The biggest question I'm going to have if Urban Meyer isn't on the sidelines with their new head coach or interim head coach Ryan Day is, how is that going to fare with former head coach for Indiana Kevin Wilson and former Rutgers head coach Greg Schiano? There's a lot of personalities involved in the mix. How will this team respond under those circumstances with Ryan Day at the helm? That's the biggest question mark I have.
And I believe that NBA is going to run with this. I mean, you'll see it. There'll be a full court press now, I believe, with their. And then, and everybody goes, well, why are you so opposed to paying data fees? It's not that we're opposed to paying data fees. It's once they have an exclusive on that feed, they can charge whatever they want, Matt, as you know, and that's the problem. I mean, once you can't go out and get a different, a number like anything else you buy, you can go shop, right? And that'll be taken away from us. And then really they get their integrity feed just through another source. So it's and that's why it's such a dangerous precedent.
I'm Ron Flatter with your VSiN Action Update. We are into the Tuesday night schedule of games in the Bigs with an overlap with some day games as well. Red Sox and Blue Jays, they're in the top of the third at Rogers Center. No score there. Juan Soto now 6 for 6 combined in the doubleheader with a home run early in this one, the second game of the doubleheader. After Washington won the first one, it's the Nationals at the end of the second inning leading the Braves 1-0. First game went to the Nationals by a count of 8-3. Twins at Indians, they are delayed right now by rain. Likewise, the Reds at the Mets, although the Reds did get a run in before the tarp came out. It is the Reds 1, the Mets nothing. Top two, Marlins lead the Cardinals 1-0. Also, bottom of the second, Rays 1, Orioles nothing. One other final earlier today, the Astros came from behind to beat the Giants for the second day in a row, 2-1. Phillies at Diamondbacks coming up tonight. Nick Pivetta against Zach Greinke, and the Diamondbacks are a 65-cent favorite in that one. Dodgers and A's, also a good matchup with Rich Hill against Sean Manaea, and it is the Dodgers 8-9 9-cent favorite. BetQL is the mobile app that you need to make smarter bets. Track line movement, public betting trends, follow your picks, and get value bets of the day. Head to betql.co and download BetQL today. Vegas Steam with Jimmy Vaccaro next on VSiN.
Now back to Sin City and My Guys in the Desert with the legend Brent Musburger, live on the Vegas Stats and Information Network, SiriusXM Channel 204, and vsin.com.
Ron Flatter, Josh Towers in for Brent Musburger, who's back on Monday, and Jimmy Vaccaro in for the South Point right here and right now. And you were telling me a few minutes ago that you saw some action on the Mets today?
Baseball has been, I would consider, a little heavier than I thought it would be heading, 3 or 4 weeks before football season starts. It's holding up pretty good. Now, a lot of favorites are winning, which means a lot of guys are cashing a lot of parlay tickets too, so that helps also. But the biggest bet of the day so far, we had 2 of them, both on the Mets, one for around $16,000 and one for $10,000. And as most people who follow this racket, they saw a considerable move on the Mets during the course of the day. But valid, we took over $25,000 on the Mets at certain numbers. So if we beat that game, we'll be fine. If not, we'll still be here tomorrow.
Cincinnati up 1-0, delayed in the first.
Is the game over?
No, they're delayed in the first inning.
Okay,
a little bit of rain and wind.
Second and third, 1 out and down 1-0. I think whoever laid that bet's hoping this thing gets canceled.
Oh, that happens.
It's been, again, busier than I thought. The football, as anticipated, not crazy bets today, but you can still feel it by, just walking around back there when I'm standing behind the kids, and there are so many people betting 20, 40s, 50s on the future. So we're getting close.
More college or pro?
Pro. Well, put it this way. The pros, if you did it, obviously there's more teams in the college, less teams in the pros. So I would still consider the ratio of whatever.
Like a per game, it would definitely be the NFL.
It'd be the NFL. Not by much. And as we've talked about, and you guys will see this year, as we've seen now for the past 4 years, where the NCAA Saturdays are just as heavily bet as the NFL Sundays, which is incredible. For one time, used to be 3-1 NFL. Now we're dead ass even.
How much of that's because all the games are on TV now with college?
Big move that all the games are on TV. People like to watch what they bet on. Big move is simply that there's more things to do with the college too. So remember, with the college, you got the game itself, you got the total, you got the first half, you got the second half, the game in total, and now the way we're gearing up for football, we're gonna do many more in progress bets. So the ticket count is obviously heavy on the college teams.
I think everybody's improved. I mean, the show they do on ESPN on the mornings and get everybody hyped up. I mean, that really helps because they give a lot of good insight.
NFL Network does it. They have a long show.
Yeah.
I mean, what we're doing, we have Brent does the show in the before games start now. You got a lot more talk about gambling on games.
Sure. And naturally, like everything else, even though it's still the same here, with the legalized sports betting going on, more people just getting interested in doing it.
To that end, and that you and I flashed on the same thing, because now we've got 4 states with legal sports gambling, 2 more on deck.
Right.
One that will be Rhode Island, and who's the other one that's about to? But they
West Virginia.
West Virginia. They'll both be up and running certainly by the time the season's halfway done, if not beforehand.
Correct.
So and then we already have the states otherwise. We talked about New Jersey with the apps yesterday. So it's just growing. Because there will be more talk about it, how much do you think it's going to impact here? Because nationally there'll be more talk about sports gambling.
Well, nationally it'll be more talk for the obvious reason, because it's brand new to them. Us here, as we've always done, like any other business, try to reinvent ourselves to some degree. That's why we're stepping up the amount of in-progress bets that we're taking. We didn't the previous 2 years. When I say we didn't, we had selected games. Now you see more of them. And you know what will happen is, like, even people who live in those states who just okayed the gambling on the sports, now when they'll still make their yearly visits here, well, they'll bet more on sports because they know what it's all about, coming from a place that obviously they have lawfully taken bets. So it's going to be interesting, and don't ever count out the people in Nevada, even the smaller when I say smaller operations, we only have one hotel. Now the MGM Grand, they have casinos all over the country. So does Boyd, so does Harris, and whatever. But we'll get a few of those spots ourselves, and we'll welcome it.
Let me jump away. Can you stick around?
Sure.
Beautiful. To be continued here. I want to talk to you a little bit about. Speaking of that, by the way, we got a little bit of attention for something we said here at VSiN. Popped up in a newspaper here. Does anybody know? Am I the only one who knows about this? You'll all know about it in a minute here on VSiN.
It's My Guys in the Desert with Brent Musburger, only on the Vegas Stats and Information Network. Keep up to date with everything in the world of sports gaming by going online at vsin.com.
At vsin.com, our goal is to give you the news you need to win 24/7. You'll find the up-to-the-moment odds for all the major sports on the board. Not only that, you'll be able to track how the lines change minute by minute right up to game time. You can also compare and contrast the odds from 11 sports books across Las Vegas, including our home base here at the South Point. Some sites make you pay for that information, but on vsin.com, it's free thanks to our friends at Don Best Sports. You'll also find the latest information that could change those odds. The Don Best Injury Ticker makes sure you are the first to know when a significant line-affecting injury happens. Our VSiN personalities contribute their words of wisdom to the site, too. Brent Musburger, Matt Humans, Dave Tooley, Ron Flatter, and others offer their unique take on whatever you can bet on. And sign up for our daily newsletter. Jeff Fogel makes it his mission to give you insights into what the sharp bettors are thinking and sends it to your inbox every day. That's all the news you need to win on vsin.com. Also look for us in the Apple and Google Play app stores.
If you didn't catch VSiN last week, here's some of what you missed.
I did kind of alter my odds to win the Big Ten, but I had Ohio State minus 110 over the rest of the field. I made them even money. I lowered Michigan and Penn State. Again, not to cast too many aspersions. I'm not privy to facts other than what I'm seeing on Twitter or on TV. But to take it a step further, it is a school, and they're supposed to do the right thing, on many levels, not just winning football.
Yeah, Greg.
This just came down about 2 or 3 minutes ago. Urban Meyer has been placed on administrative leave.
Well, boys, I got some work to do.
Yes.
I'll be right back.
For real, this actually is what happened.
Yeah. This is what we have to do.
One thing that they look at is the percentage, and the Nevada percentage versus the European percentage. And I always used to say, I took my percentage down to the bank, but they wouldn't take it. They said they only take dollars. And that's what these guys really fail to realize. The European model has all sorts of, there's hidden percentage in everything that they do. And that's fine. It's worked well for them. The American market is totally different. And it's not going to go for some of that, I don't know if I could say it, but bull crap.
How much of an improvement will it be? Did I even read that you guys might even think they have a shot at contending for a playoff berth?
They absolutely have a shot of contending for a playoff berth. We have this projected as a top 10 defense. We do not have the offense projected well, but oh my God, is it going to be better than last year? Whether it's Taylor or Mayfield, and Mayfield has one of our best quarterback projections ever. If college performance means anything, and it does mean something, right? It's hard to project, but it's better to be coming out of college with good performance than bad.
vsin.com. The legend himself training camp with the Raiders today in Napa, California. Ron Flatter and Josh Towers in for him. Brent will be back here on Monday. Jimmy Vaccaro, not far from where you grew up, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, not too far, about 150 miles.
The newspaper there, the Patriot News. Writer there by the name of Greg Pickle or Pickell. Am I saying that right? It's Greg? He writes this. One analyst does not agree with James Franklin being optimistic about where Penn State is headed this season. The Vegas Stats and Information Network is a fairly new venture that talks sports from a gambling perspective with former broadcaster Brent Musburger as its face. VSiN, as it's also known, is busy sending out college football season previews with a keen focus on win-loss totals. And the group believes the Lions, Nittany that is, will go under their listed win number, which is 9.5. And it does quote from our VSiN City Point Spread Weekly Special Edition, as shown on our monitors here in studio. Says, it's true, James Franklin is recruited well, but it looks unrealistic for a team that returns only 10 starters to win 10 games in a brutally tough East Division. So it's kind of nice that the folks out there, a little newspaper in Pennsylvania, paying attention, state trying to get sports gambling, they want it. You can tell they're tasting it, and just hoping that the state legislature tamps down some of the requirements for getting it running.
Well, we've talked about it a couple times since I've been back from a Pittsburgh trip. It's simply amazing. Every time you're with a group of people, the people don't understand why Pennsylvania's dragging their feet. They just don't get it. Obviously, we talk about the money involved and whatever, but the general public is saying, what are these guys waiting for? We've waited all this time to get it. Now we're going to let people leave on Saturday and Sunday to drive to Delaware, to drive to New Jersey, to drive to West Virginia.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense. So what can I tell you?
They're surrounding them. In terms of the PGA tournament, I meant to ask you this yesterday because you came in and we didn't have time to talk about it. PGA tournament less than 48 hours away now, and you told me that you were getting a fair amount of action on that at the windows,
yes,
right?
Not bad at all. The golf has been relatively well. I tell you where we got knocked around. I think we lost about 25,000 Sunday with the NASCAR race. The kid Elliott won. He was a 20-1 underdog to win there. So we got whacked pretty good on that one. The golf has been relatively well as long as we keep Tiger still off the board. I looked a little while ago, and he still draws money. What can I tell you,
Josh?
Well, I mean, we talked about he's Tiger Woods. Obviously, everybody knows what I know, that he still can win. He's always going to draw. These guys got to put odds on him, and they, like I said, we had the one for Sunday where we were still 500 to 1 just because you knew you were going to get action.
He's got that Cheshire Cat grin, Mr. Vaccaro.
Because he's making money.
Like, oh, you guys bet all you want on
Well, man,
yes.
You guys look at me like, boy, they're making money. How about when they beat my brains in for 10 years with this guy? A little different then.
It was different. You're
Goes around,
you're
comes
getting,
around.
yeah, exactly. The return.
It's going to be different for a long time because now he has like 5 of these youngsters. Any one of them.
These kids are so good.
Yeah,
all
those
of
kids
them
are so good. It's incredible.
That's what makes it so hard.
Does football help the golf handle?
No, golf helps football. You know what I mean? Yes, football helps golf. Make no mistake about it. But anytime you have something up there like that, it does help.
So with the PGA tournament moving to May next year, probably not as much action on it.
Well, I wouldn't say that. Anything that's extra in May and June helps us because it goes to a dead period anyway. So and what you root for in June is not for the NBA series to go 4 games. You like to stretch that out as far as you can. Also, we need all the help we can get in June on. So anything like a golf tournament, that thing would do very, very well for us. Anything that's a downtime that we throw in there that has some interest in it draws more attention than it normally would.
Have you got a handle yet at this point how much bigger, smaller, or the same as that football will be this year versus last year? Because it certainly took a bit of a bump, and I think we have to take some credit here because we've given a national platform to sports gambling news, and now you've got more states. So do you have a feel? Is it going to be bigger than ever kind of a thing?
Yeah. When you say bigger than ever, it's never gone down in the past 15 years. It's always, gone up. I think probably about another 3% every year, it doesn't sound like a big number, but it's a relatively big number. And the biggest thing you can tell when you know that it's more attractive is the parlay card tickets that you write and the tickets you write from the counter itself. Never been a year where we had less tickets, and it'll be the same this year.
Okay.
Jimmy, do you find with the golf, do you find more on the matchup play or who we think is going to win the tournament?
Matchups.
Yeah, I love the matchups.
Yeah, matchups. Well, you have a better shot.
Yeah, I mean, I've never actually. I mean, I have this year, but before that, I never pulled the trigger on 20 to 1 or 10 to 1 or anything like that.
I haven't. I've never.
But I do dig the matchups because I feel like you do have a better shot.
Matchups, and I believe if you do your homework pretty good, you're laying $1.30 on a price. Probably should be $1.70, so you like that even more.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. And then I love the majors, what you guys do for the majors. Obviously, you have individual day matchups, where on the other tournaments, you have just the 4-day matchups as well, so it gives us a little
Anything
bit more.
like that helps. And I didn't mean to interrupt you, young man.
No,
but when we get to the golf with Tiger and Mickelson, there'll be so many other things we can do with that'll be a big event. here I talked down about it 3 days ago. It's going to be a big event for us, booking.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. That's going to be fun. I was the same as you. My first impression is like, oh, here's a couple of has-beens.
Right.
But, it's a one-on-one.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's two big, giant, huge, humongous names.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
So, it'll be fun. That'll be fun in November.
Bragging rights for them.
I know you.
Really all it is.
You can't talk about it. You were interviewed for ESPN, so I won't ask any further. I'm just going to ask you one question. Did they make you put makeup on?
No.
For television? Have you ever had to wear makeup for television?
Yes. I mess it up before I go on the camera.
You scrape it off?
You don't want the real Jimmy Vaccaro. Don't ask him to go.
I was just going to say, why tamper with perfection?
72 years old. What the hell are they going to do? Make me look like I'm 40?
Run old video. All right. We're back. Josh is back tomorrow. I'm not. We'll surprise you with who's here tomorrow on VSiN.
It's My Guys in the Desert with Brent Musburger, only on the Vegas Stats and Information Network. Keep up to date with everything in the world of sports gaming by going online at vsin.com.
I'm Brent Musburger, reminding you that the football betting season is here. There is nothing like it. Are you ready to celebrate the thrill of victory and cash a ticket even on defeats? Sharpen your edge now with the help of Matt Humans, Dave Tooley, and the rest of My Guys in the Desert. We'll get you prepared for the football season with exclusive handicapping stories and data that you won't find anywhere else. Go to vsin.com/subscribe for the package that makes sense for you, including a 1-week trial at no charge. Our new all-access subscription includes Point Spread Weekly, VSiN's digital magazine designed to make you a better handicapper and avoid the agony of defeat. You'll also get VSiN's 140-plus page college football betting guide, followed by our comprehensive pro football betting guide in August. Sign up now, vsin.com/subscribe. That's vsin.com/subscribe. Remember, cashing tickets is what it's all about.
If you didn't catch VSiN last week, here's some of what you missed.
A guy wants $10,000 on the Falcons to win the Super Bowl. Without hesitating, I said, yeah, good, fine, write the ticket. So I turned my back. I was talking